Prepare for a fusion of knowledge and exhilaration where education and excitement collide.
Taking you on an adventure that expands your mind and speaks to your spirit.
I'm Master Nick.
I'm Lady D.
We are the Dom Life.
This podcast contains sexually explicit topics and adult content.
It is intended for listeners 18 and older.
The opinions expressed in this podcast are ours alone, based on our personal thoughts, feelings, and experiences.
We understand that others may have different opinions and experiences, and we respect that. We would love to hear from you. You can reach out to us at www.thedomlife.com. Hello, everyone. Welcome back to another week, another episode, and we think we've got a pretty good topic to discuss today. Should be pretty entertaining and hopefully very well educational.
I agree.
But before we do that, it's been a couple of weeks. So, Lady D, you want to give us a little bit of an update on your recovery?
Man, it's been a long recovery. So I'm sorry. We still have stuff. I am going to physical therapy twice a week. And the physical therapist did something amazing and said, let's do water-based activities. And they have this walk-in tub that fills up with water, has a treadmill in it, and it's contained, but it helps to let your body not have all the gravity pushing on it. And it was the first time since my accident that I had zero pain while being inside of the water. And it felt so good to just realize that my body can feel that way because I just have gotten so accustomed to having the various aches and pains you have when you're sitting, standing. I mean, everybody has pain. So I'm not the only one. I totally get it. But it was just nice to feel that buoyancy. So that has been a big help. It does wear me out a lot. Finally got into the specialist with the knee. My beautiful hardware here is going to be here for another 8 weeks. We got 2 more weeks left of it 24/7, and then it goes to anytime I get up. So when I'm sitting, I should be able to not have it, but anytime I get up, do any activities, I will have it for another 6 weeks.
Right.
Following that, I will also, I went to a hand specialist, and I was a little bit overstimulated. How does that happen? While we were there, just getting to the building, I thought I was further along than I was, and I didn't bring the wheelchair, and I used my walker. And by the time I got there, I was overstimulated. Everything hurt. And so when he tried to manipulate anything within my hand, it was too much for me. And I literally would cry out. So they need an MRI. Oh, what a surprise.
Right. It's not the first time we've tried to get one.
It's the third doctor who says an MRI is needed to understand what's going on with my fingers. So insurance, if you're listening to the Dom Life podcast, please approve it this time.
Yeah,
but
definitely.
The nice thing is it was a hand specialist, and they have very specific imaging location that they want me to go to because all the people who read it are specialists in hand injuries, and hand injuries are so minute compared to other body injuries that whatever, it's better to go to their place. So I'm glad that it happened that way, because now maybe I'll get exactly what they need. But I'm still off work, still can't type, still can't do the number of things that I want to, and it's getting harder as I heal. Because my body is healing, I want to do these things. So that's kind of my update. It's all good because I'm getting better and better. And it's all bad because I'm not where I want to be. And, I'm taking the steps and I'm doing the activities.
Yep.
Does that cover it, Master Nick? Did I miss anything other
I don't
than
think
your
so.
personal stress over the fact that I cry.
Yeah, that, and I think now you've got Tourette syndrome.
I
We'll just be setting and just everything still when we're watching TV, and all of a sudden I hear, ah, it's okay. You're just getting Tourette's. It's,
Yes. So people that have Tourette's, I'm very sorry for you because I scream out on a regular basis and I recognize how difficult that is.
yeah,
Because it's not just at home when I'm out. I just shift a certain way
yep. You're
and
just
I
liable,
scream.
you're liable to hear a scream.
I scream.
I'm trying to get you to do a moan instead of a scream, but sometimes, yeah,
Oh, oh, Master Nick.
that's what you should be screaming out right there.
So, and that is a part of this recovery, I
Yep,
guess.
it's all part of it. All right, so getting back into this episode.
Oh, wait, I have to say one more thing. Master Nick came walking out of the bathroom, going towards the laundry room, and he didn't have a shirt on. And I just want you to know, all you listeners, it was the hottest freaking thing I have seen in such a long time. He just looks so good. The workouts, the diet, everything is amazing. And I was like, ooh, that's hot. So,
And
again, after being married for so long and after seeing him without his shirt a bunch of times, today he walked out jeans on, just jeans, no shirt, and it was the hottest freaking thing. Woo, I was warm.
also for our listeners, I think she had just taken a painkiller. She might have been
No
a little bit out of her head.
way. Okay.
All right, so getting into this week's episode, we did have a comment a few weeks ago on an episode that we had done, and the person kind of was like, hey, we wish you would get back into more of the being a good dom, the do's, the don'ts, some tips. I know we have a couple of episodes out, on what we think it takes to be a good dominant. And,
Well,
in all honesty, this is a topic, I mean, we could talk about every week.
yes.
But we try to go from one topic to another. I try not to stay on the same topic for too long. We don't want you, our listeners at home, getting bored, us talking about the
The
same things.
same things.
But we did
But
feel this was a good
oh, we
time
couldn't agree more. It was a
to
perfect
to
time.
turn back to being a good dom. But we're going to mix it up a little bit so that this isn't just about ways of being a good dom, the do's, the don'ts, and the
Because
tips.
we've kind of walked through that.
We've got others in our lives, friends, some new friends, some long-term friends that we've had, that we've just had little random conversations with. And we feel that we can tie all of this into an episode.
Yes.
And so one of our friends' situation, they are a new couple.
They are.
Just recently met each other. So they are building their relationship. They are trying to find ways to date and to build this, but they're also trying to build a DS dynamic
into the
as
relationship
well,
in the beginning, like right
which
initially.
is exactly like what we've done.
Yes.
We met, wanted to start a relationship, but also wanted to bring in the DS along with it. And we know the pains and the struggles and the sacrifices and the disagreements that come with that.
Right.
So we're going to talk a little bit about ways of managing that, ways to maneuver that, what
Right. It's
paths
so
to
exciting.
take.
It's like the
Oh, yeah.
beginning of everything. Just like a new relationship. It's so much fun in
Yeah.
the beginning. You're like so interested, so into it, and it's all exciting. It's all the possibilities.
Right.
And that can get you into some trouble
It can.
as a sub and as a dom.
Correct.
Because a sub is going, well, that turned me on so much. Let's do more.
Right.
Sir, come on, and please. I want you to give me another command and another. I want this feeling to continue going and growing. And for a dom, that could be tough, especially if
It can
you're
be.
a new dom.
If you're a new dom trying to learn, even if you're an experienced dom, because you can't be the same dom to every person.
Right.
Everybody requires different characteristics, different skills, different things to do, different tasks, different punishments. What works for one may or may not work for another.
Right.
So you are going into this brand new. Now this couple, are friends. He is learning to be a dom. He's become a real good friend to us. He's asked questions. We've given advice. He's done research. He does classes. He does all of this. He's trying to learn. And I highly respect him for it because I feel he is doing this the right way.
Right.
He is doing, because
I see
when,
that too.
when I was introduced into the BDSM world and the Dom, I'm the type of person, if I'm going to do something, I want to do it to the best of my ability.
Yes.
I don't want to half ass it. If
Right.
I'm going to do something, I want to do it. I want to do it the right way. I want to make sure everybody's good. So while doing that, this isn't something you learn overnight.
Right.
This takes time. This takes research. This takes education. Takes finding a community to bounce ideas off of.
Yes.
As a Dom, you're not going to have the answers right off the bat.
Right. But you're still expected to. As a
Correct.
submissive, I want to know that I'm placing my trust in the right person.
Yep.
And the only way to learn that is by having those experiences. You
Right.
can't just studying isn't enough. I think
Correct.
studying is great, but there has to be
You
interaction.
got to have your life experiences with it.
Right. And you have to interact with your sub. So knowing it all doesn't help if you're not doing it. So now
Correct.
you start doing it and you do something and I want it. I want
Right.
it more. What are you going to do when I say, but I want more? More.
Well, and that goes back to communication. So as a good Dom, communication should be right up there at the top with respect and trust and all of that. As a Dom, you should let your submissive know what path you're wanting to take, why you're wanting to go this route. Why does this taking a little longer? Maybe I'm a little uncomfortable with some of the things you want me to do, and that's something I have to work out on.
Right.
If I'm uncomfortable with a task or with an implement or with something you're wanting, it's going to be hard for me to just jump in head first
You
and do
felt
it.
that with the flogger.
Right,
Just
as
in the
as the
initial.
flogger in the initial, you want me to hit you with a flogger. I'm not comfortable with this. So it took the first time or two, 5 or 6 times, however long it took. I wasn't hitting you as hard as you wanted,
Right.
but I'm having to tell you, I have to make myself comfortable with this. I have to work up to it at my pace.
Right. And at the same time, I have to communicate with you
Yep.
what I want, what I need out of it.
Right.
And at some point, it should be meeting in the middle.
Correct.
I mean, there's so many questions you have to ask as a Dom. Like, you have to know my medical history.
No, I need to know your medical history. I need to know your soft limits. I need to know your hard limits. I need to know if you have any kind of triggers. If you have any kind of mental past that could come back.
Are you on medication?
Medication is another. What medicines are you on? Because, can I get your heart race and can I get your blood pressure up? All of that plays into a huge factor of what I can and cannot do to you.
And it's really hard, I think, sometimes for a submissive, and we talked about this before, we've used different tools to say, I am interested in all of this, especially in a new relationship where you're already kind of vulnerable. Now you want me to tell you what I want, or you need input in order to accomplish it. Because how do you even know what I want to feel or experience? So there's a lot of communication involved with that as a Dom. So the new relationships with a new dynamic can be really tough. And to be a Dom, what you have to do is you have to figure out what your limits are, right?
Right. You got to know your own limitations, what you're willing to do. And you have to be willing to communicate if something is a soft limit for you. Doms have soft and hard limits as well.
Oh, yes.
There is some things for me as a Dom I do not want to do.
But they adjusted too. What was one of your hard limits?
Oh, Lord.
Do you remember?
I've had a few, to be honest about it.
Okay, but hard limits in regards to me. You told me in the beginning that you were not okay with choking me.
Oh, yeah, the choking. Okay, yep. So that stemmed back again to my medical past, but then not knowing without doing the research on the actual choking. So yes, my first instinct was I don't want to take a chance of damaging your trachea, your windpipe, any of that stuff that's in your throat that causes you to swallow. You've got nerves, you've got all of this in your throat. So yes, at first choking was a hard
Hard
limit.
limit.
I
Hard.
will not do it. I will not do it. I will lay my hand on your throat. I am not applying pressure.
That has changed.
Because I've done research. I've done the reading up on it, and I understood, okay, so you're not putting the pressure on the center of your throat. You're putting pressure on the sides of the throat. And it's a total different thing. You're actually hitting the jugular veins instead of on the trachea and the windpipe and all that. So yes, at first it was a hard limit.
It was a hard limit.
You know,
And thankfully that's changed because we
yes.
do enjoy that kind of a play as
Right.
well.
Right.
So, yeah, I think that there are the need for change and understanding and adapting.
Correct.
And as a dom, my job as a sub is to at least explain to you my likes, my dislikes, my
Yep.
hard limits, my soft limits, my limitations. All of those things are things that I'm supposed to tell you, as well as telling you what I hope to get out of something.
Right. What's the reason you want this? It's going back to, so you was submissive and you need to be taken control of, and you need to be, that's great. But the fact that you said you have a submissive side to you, and if my submissive side does not get met, I start getting angry. And then you even said you had a hard time communicating that side of it. This is what you need to tame your submissive. But if your submissive isn't tamed, now you start getting angry, you start getting emotional, and you have a hard time communicating in that mind state
Yes.
of what you need or what you want. So yes, not only finding out what they want, but finding out why do they want it? What's the reason for them asking for this? That way it helps you as a dom to understand how far you need to take it, how far you need to go with it.
Right.
You could say, I want to be restrained in bed. Okay, well, I can fucking restrain you. But if I don't understand why you want to be restrained.
Right. Is it because you want to be overpowered? Is it because you want to be dominated? Is it because you want to be tied up and,
maybe you want to be tied up just so you don't have to fucking move.
Right.
But again, if
your kink is
right, I want you moving. So therefore I don't want to tie you down to the bed. If the only reason is you don't want to move, well, I want you to fucking move.
Right.
But the fact that you say, I want to feel overpowered, I want to feel like I have zero control, I want to feel vulnerable, I want to feel you taking advantage of me. Now, all of that gives me the ideas of how to tie you down and where to place you and what positions to put you in.
So you can ask a question another way. You don't have to say, why do you want this? You could say, what are you looking? What kind of feeling do you want when I tie you?
Correct.
And it's like, it's very crazy because with our various friends, and we know how they interact, and we know the things they do, at least the things we've seen. I'm sure there's private parts that we don't see.
Oh yeah.
But that we've seen people do stuff that is more in line with the degradation, humiliation.
Absolutely.
And the way you would restrain somebody for that would be totally different than the way you would restrain me because I want to feel overpowered
and vulnerable. Right. If you're doing it for the humility out of it, then we're looking at different positions to put you in,
that you're fully exposed.
Right. Where everything's fully exposed, spread open, on display. So finding out what your submissive wants to get out of it, how they want to feel out of it, will help you determine what routes to take.
Right.
Now, again, this goes back to communication. You both have to communicate. I can't read your mind. You can't read my mind. And it takes the communication. And you're a brand new couple. You're just starting out. You haven't found the best ways to communicate with each other. You're going to find roadblocks. You're going to hit speed bumps. You're going to have disagreements, misunderstandings.
Yes.
You have to take that into mind as a new couple. You're still learning each other. You're still trying to go down that path of a boyfriend, girlfriend, whatever you want to be it called. You're going
girlfriend,
boyfriend, any of that. So not only you're trying to start that, and that's hard enough.
Yes.
Starting out just a plain old vanilla relationship is hard enough because you still have to communicate. People often don't communicate.
Right.
You start bringing in a dynamic, communication has to be there. And if you communicate in different ways, you're going to get your misunderstandings. You're going to get your misinterpretations. You're not going to fully understand
So
what each
as a
other's doing.
dom, how can you overcome some of the miscommunications? What do you do as a dom?
Well, you ask the questions, and although you may get an answer, you need to circle back to that in another day or two. Find a way of asking that question differently,
Okay.
but try to get to see what answer you get out of it. Is the answer in line with the answer you got the other day?
Okay.
Is it something totally different? And then, depending on which way it lines up, now you've got more questions to ask.
Right.
But you don't want to ask the same question. I don't want to come to you every day and going, why do you want to be a submissive? Why do you want to be tied up?
Does this feel
You've got,
good or does that feel good?
yeah,
Does this feel good? Does that feel
because
good?
that gets monotonous, and then
Right.
that will soon start getting on nerves, and then you've got a whole nother problem. But you have to find ways of asking the same question, but differently.
Well, another way that you've done it is by doing a task, assigning a
You can do
task
task.
that requires your submissive to tell you the two things they loved about the last
Yeah,
interaction.
you could
Or,
do that.
it allows them the opportunity to give you the feedback you
Right.
want without you. Why do
You
you do
can
this? Why do you do that?
you can do a task with you can do a daily journal. You can do a weekly journal. You can do that. You can set a task within 24 hours after a scene. I want two parts that you really, really liked and one part you didn't like.
Right.
Or, word it however you want to. But yes, you can assign tasks. So you're building this dynamic. So most submissives want tasks. That's one of the things you can assign right off the bat is start giving little small tasks. You don't want to get real big with it. You don't want to get too in depth
Elaborate.
or elaborate with
Yeah.
it, but start off with that. So, start it with a good morning text. In this good morning text, tell me, how are you feeling today?
Right.
Tell me, what your plans or your goals are for the day. What are you looking to get done that day?
That way you could
You
follow up
can,
at the end of the night. So
right.
as a dom though, if you're assigning me tasks, you better make sure that you're on top of the tasks you
Oh, you
assign
have to be.
me,
Yes.
because otherwise that means if I feel that you don't care about the tasks you assign me, then I feel like you're failing as a dom.
Right. And
My
yes,
submissive
absolutely.
side goes, you don't really care.
Do not assign a task if it don't mean anything to you as a dom. Because like you said, if my task to you is every morning tell me how you're feeling and a goal you're going to get done for the day, if I never follow up, if I never circle back to that, now to you that task is pointless. You're doing this just because, well, why the fuck do I want to be telling him this if he's not even going to pay attention, or if he blows it off, or if he doesn't circle back?
Yep.
So any task that you assign should have a reason or a meaning behind that task. Don't give a task just to be fucking given a task.
Right.
Well, so and so does this. I want to do that too. No. If you want to borrow a task, that's fine, but make sure it has a meaning to you. You should be able to explain every task that you have assigned to your submissive at any time that they ask. If they say, why am I doing this? You should already have that reason. You shouldn't have to sit right then and try to come up with one.
So we already talked a lot about being a good dom and what traits and characteristics you should have. We
Correct.
have covered that very thoroughly. So let's add consistency,
Okay.
because consistency is another thing that is really important to a submissive.
Right.
I want you to vary our interactions, but I want you to be consistent
Mm-hmm.
in the way that you handle me and handle
Right.
situations. And that's the follow up and follow through. You're going to be consistent
I agree
on
with that.
that.
And so you brought that up. We just had this conversation, and I love the analogy that we came up with. So, and it still ties to this episode. So every dom is different, just like every submissive is different. When we talk about what it takes to be a good dom, we talk about building a foundation. And for me, going back to that episode, I can't remember exactly what I said, but right off the top of my head right now, respect, communication, willing to learn, willing to listen,
Integrity.
integrity, all of that. That's your foundation. I think every dom should have
That foundation.
that foundation.
Yep.
Now, this foundation is just like a house. Once you get your foundation built,
Uh-huh.
your house is going to look different than another submissive's house
Yes.
because you're going to require or want or need things that this
Different
person don't need.
floors,
So
different.
your
Mhm.
house is going to have different floors, it's going to have different layers, it's going to have different uprights, it's going to have different structures, it's going to have all of this. Once you get that foundation, now you start building your house. And your house should be what you want, what you desire, what you need, what
Right. Not, and you're talking my house is in the
the
submissive's house
submissive's house.
because the
Yes.
Dom doesn't necessarily have a house. He has his
Right.
toolbox and he's doing all the
I've got
work
all
on
my
it.
skill set, but I have to understand your house
Right.
before I can be a Dom to you. Because although I may be a wonderful Dom for you,
Right.
there is other submissives out there that would absolutely hate me as a Dom.
Yeah.
Because if I'm not doing the stuff they need, if I only do what I know I can do for you, they're going to be
And you
highly
use that
disappointed.
right now. You said when you do any scenes, limited time,
Mhm.
scenes on a cross, that's one of the things you do. You do what you know you've done on me
Right.
because you're just trying to give them the experience
Give
of
them the experience of it.
enough of different things that they can walk away going, I want to do this.
Right.
But is it the same when it's a new submissive for you?
Yes and no.
So, like, say this is a poly relationship
Okay.
and you have another third. Explain to me how it would be different from my house to their house.
Well, first of all, I got to learn their house. I've got to be able to open that door. I've got to be able to walk in. So we first, again, we have to reevaluate that foundation. We got to make sure we trust each other. That they respect me, that I respect them, that I'm willing to listen to them, that they're willing to communicate to me. There's that foundation. Once that
Yes.
foundation is built, now I have a key. I can walk into their house, and walking in, it's understanding what's in their house. What do they want? What
Ah,
do
that's
they
good.
need? What are they looking to get out of it? How do they want to feel?
Yes.
Because I guarantee it's going to be different.
Yes.
I will never find anybody in this world that I can do the exact same thing to them that I do to you.
Right. And
So,
then they're not going to walk away satisfied.
right.
Their house is different.
Yep.
They want you to climb the floors in a totally different manner than they
Exactly. You
do.
may you may have to put in more work. You may have to put in more effort. Maybe you don't have to do as much work or effort. And a lot of that for another submissive, like for you, I have tasks laid out for you, and I have reasons for those tasks. Now, some of these tasks may be the same for this one, and the reasoning may be the same for this
Or
one,
it may be different. You
or
could
it
have,
may be totally different. Correct.
right.
But regardless, there is still a reason as to why I would assign this task.
Okay, so what are some possible in like a poly type relationship? Um, what are some of the things that would be difficult for the dom? Like I'm thinking flipping between the two.
I can
What
see
if
that would
you
be tough.
spank somebody a certain way with a certain hardness all the time, and then your second relationship, your additional
Mhm.
relationship, doesn't like that? How do you
And
like?
that's going to be hard. It's going to be a challenge for the Dom. Um, until you get 100% comfortable. Now, years down the road, it's like another skill set. You're just going to pick up on it immediately. But as playing with another potential, of course, I know what does it for you.
Right.
And I can usually find out real quick either it does work or it doesn't work. And if it doesn't
How do
work,
you do that? How do you do
I
that,
do
sir?
body movements, face expressions. Are they willing to communicate it? I don't like that. Each person gives off their own different tales, which is why it is hard for me when playing with someone new. I that I don't want to push very far because I don't know their signals. I don't know their signs. I don't know how do they express what they enjoy.
New relationships, that's really hard too
It is.
because
You are
you
trying to learn them,
you're trying to figure out what the relationship looks like, but
right?
now let's add in what kind of intensity. I mean, they're right now in the rush of all good things.
Hmm.
So, how do you determine what if I'm telling you that you're going too slow? How do you how do you work through that
I'm
as a
going too
dom?
slow. is in the dynamic, or I'm going too slow in the scene?
In the dynamic. Let's go dynamic
Okay.
first.
So in a dynamic, if
Like I want you to, humiliate me. I want you to throw me to the ground. I want you to take control, be powerful, pin me, you know, fuck me like you've never fucked anyone before because that makes me feel beautiful.
okay, and then all that sounds fucking wonderful,
Uh-huh.
but also scary as hell.
Okay.
All right. Reason being, we're still a new relationship.
Yes.
Apparently, I'm really liking you. You're really liking me because we're still in
We're
this
calling it a
relationship.
relation. It's a
Right.
relationship, not a scene
Right.
not an individual
So
scene.
I know in the back of my mind what I want to do, and I know I can hear and I'm understanding what you're telling me, but I'm also fearful of if I go too far.
Right.
You want to be thrown on the floor. Okay. What if I throw you too hard
And I get a bruise.
and you get a
and now
bruise
I'm
or damage something? Okay. So there's that thought. You want to be humiliated. That's great. What if there's one name that just triggers you that we don't know yet?
right. Yeah.
So what if
I've got one.
what if I call you that and the scene goes to shit immediately?
And you're a brand new dom.
And you're brand new dom, brand new relationship.
Or
There
even if you're
is-
not a new dom, even if
Right.
you did that right now with a new
As an experienced dom,
person.
it could happen. So all of this is going in the back of my mind. You want to be fucked like I've never fucked nobody. Okay. What if I'm really, really big? I'm not. But what if
Okay,
I'm
stop that.
I'm just saying, you know, fucked in ways that you've never been fucked before. All right. Does that mean in your pussy or in your ass? You know, without communicating, without setting down and actually negotiating this scene of soft limits, hard limits, how you want to feel from it, I cannot go into this scene blindly and expect a success out of it.
And it's not more important. It's important when you're in a relationship that you want to do good. In a
Correct.
scene, I've heard you say it, I can hit you with a cane.
Yeah, I can. You know, and that's when you're playing with somebody brand new, somebody that I haven't met, and I've had them. Can you put me on the cross? I want to see what it feels like. Absolutely, I put you on the cross, and I get them up and they're like, I want you to hit me harder. I'm not going to hit you harder,
Right.
and there's a reason why. That is a limit for me as a dominant. For somebody brand new that apparently has never felt any of this, and
Right.
that I have never met, and that I have never seen play. I'm going to go at my pace.
Right.
And the reason for that is you may say you want to be hit harder until you get hit harder.
Right.
And then it could go south real quick.
And I'm not I don't know enough about you
Right.
to be able to.
So if you say hit me harder and I hit you harder and you absolutely hate it, you're never going to want to try this again.
Right.
You're going to leave there with a bad experience and you're going to think all men are bad. All doms are bad. I told him to hit me harder, but I wasn't expecting to hit me that hard. Then you're going to get a bad rap. They're going to go tell their friends, and their friends are going to tell their friends.
Right.
And by the
So
time
you're
this
doing
set,
yeah.
correct. So as somebody new, as somebody brand new, you may want to get hit harder. That's great. Find your partner, experiment with them, let them test you, let them push your limits. I am not going to push your
Okay.
limits.
So you've played with our friend group. You've had our friend group
Mhm.
people on the cross on a regular basis, and one of them says to you, "I'm in a mood tonight. I'd like some bruises."
Okay. I'm going to amp it up
Because you know them.
because I know them. And especially if I have seen them in impact scenes before and I can see what they can take and I can see how hard people are swinging.
New doms, existing doms, listen to what he's saying. He has seen them before and paid attention.
Yes.
That's the key.
But there's also one other drawback on this. What's their emotional state that night?
right.
How are they feeling that night? Are they intoxicated?
Yes.
Not saying that they're drunk, but how much have they had to drink?
Right.
What kind of mind state are they in?
Yeah.
Still plays a huge role in this.
We had a friend that showed up
Yes.
very seriously during a scene.
So somebody that I have seen, somebody that I've known for a long time, that I've talked to, or we've become friends, this is the first time I'm playing with them. I am going to amp it up but I'm still not going nowhere near as hard as I know I can.
Right. Right.
And if you want marks, here's my implements that will leave marks. We will save that for the end, and you can tap out when you're ready to tap out.
Right.
Safe word out, and we're done. But even then, somebody I know, somebody I've seen, it is not my job to push them to their limits that night
Right.
for a scene in my eyes.
I agree, but you do. If one of them comes to you that you have played with enough that you know
I've played
them.
with enough.
Right.
First time playing with somebody.
Right, right. I get what you're saying. First time playing.
Now, we do have the regulars that I've played with.
Yes.
And each time I play with them, I go a little further. And
Right.
then the next time, a little further until I get to where I know I can be at for them to safe word.
So those interactions are a little bit different because you might do aftercare. You might call them or text
Mhm.
them the next day, just checking in on you. Hey, did you enjoy yourself? Is there any lasting repercussions? Do you have any bruises that you want to show off? That kind of thing.
Right.
So that's a little bit different than the larger things that we're talking about
Oh, yeah.
because the interaction is limited to a club, a scene, a bedroom, a scene, and then it's basically done other than follow up and aftercare.
Correct.
So that said, relationships, when you're trying to include this, why would, say, you and I incorporate some new dynamics in? Say we're going to do some new dynamics. As a Dom, I come to you and I say, I really want you to start, I don't know, making me kneel all the time and call me names.
Okay.
Okay, so I come to you and I say, this is what I want.
Mhm.
What as a Dom are you thinking? What are you doing? How are
I'm
you going to react?
I guess the first thing that I would be asking is what has brought this on? Is this just something you're wanting to experiment with? Did you read something that maybe this is intriguing? Is this a fantasy you want to try to see if you like it? Or is this something that's actually missing in our relationship that you're needing?
Right. Right.
And so by understanding that would determine how we proceed. If this is a fantasy, oh, I read this and it sounds so hot and I want to try it. Okay, cool. We're gonna start small.
Right.
We're gonna start here, and there will be the talk, especially if there's humiliation involved.
Because
Is
that's
there
kind
any?
of a limit for you.
It is.
I think you'll do some of it, but
I can do
it's
some of it.
very surface compared to
It
what I've
would
seen.
it would be just like the flogger. I would take baby steps with it. It would have to be something that I could grow
I am
into.
not looking to be a kneeler all the time. I have bad knees and, I broke mine.
Right. But
It was just a thought in my head.
right. But to understand why you're wanting this
So a
would
good
determine.
dom is going to start asking questions before just
Yes.
jumping in and
Oh yeah.
doing it.
Yeah. You're not just, you're saying you want this. So it's not an automatic thing for a dom to just jump in and say, kneel bitch or come slut and blah blah and just
Yeah.
start shooting words out of your mouth. That
Right.
to me, that is not the way it should be handled. If you said, I've been into it this whole time, I've been scared to say something, okay, here's where we're going to start. Um, we're going to talk about it. We're going to find out, is there any words you don't like being called?
Yeah,
And if at
because
first you
ooh,
say, no, there isn't, okay, in this, if I call you something that you do not like, you can get mad. You can safe word.
right.
You safe word, yellow, whatever your safe words are.
Red.
We're going to stop. We're going to do aftercare. We're going to talk about it. We may not talk immediately. It may wait till the next day, depending on your dynamic and what you all are used to doing.
And the emotional aspect of it, because a lot of
Correct.
times if I'm really, really emotional, I don't want to say or I can't put words together to explain
Correct.
it to you. So
But if
sometimes,
you come to me and say, I want to be humiliated, and you cannot, what can I not call you? You can call me anything you want. Keep in mind, if they call you something that triggers you, you can feel emotional. You can feel upset. You can have your feelings,
well,
but you can't take it out on your Dom. You have to find a way to communicate that, okay, so I don't like this. This needs to come out of your toolbox. This word cannot be used.
Right. I think also when it comes to that kind of an interaction, say I tell you that I need to be humiliated
Hmm.
or degraded.
Hmm.
Like this is the things that I need in order. Like I haven't needed it, but suddenly I read a book or I'm interested
Right.
and you do it. I think that you have to understand as a dom that aftercare needs change as well.
Oh, yeah.
Because if we're playing rougher, like in terms of not physically, but mentally rougher, what I may need, what has worked for the last 5 years, 7 years of our relationship, now all of a sudden may not work
Right.
because I'm
Well, your dynamics changed.
right.
What you have been doing for your dynamic and what has been working, you add one little something else in. Now your dynamic's different. So that changes. It's a ripple effect. It changes your dynamic. It changes your aftercare. It changes your task. It changes your punishments. It changes
Right.
everything in
Right.
line with it.
Yep.
It may even go back to a contract renegotiation. It may change as much as going there. So we're changing our dynamic. We need to make this now, or we need to take this completely out. So yes, everything's a ripple effect.
So I really like the way your brain works because I wouldn't have thought about all the other aspects. This is why I'm not a dom. I wouldn't have thought about all the other aspects that it could
Hmm.
impact or that you might have to consider changing
Right.
because of one request, and it's so then you definitely want to know why I want to make that
Correct.
change.
Right. Correct. What's going on? Why do you want to do this? And some things may be inserted into your dynamic and not much change, but there is that potential. Anytime you add something else to your dynamic, you are more than likely going to have to change other things after that as well. All right. I know this is a very good topic and this has been some amazing discussions. I need to stop us right here. We are currently out of time.
No way.
Yes, way.
Ugh.
Come back next week as we continue this episode and give you a lot more information that we feel is important.
Good job. Thank you. Please follow, like, and share our podcast.
Make sure to visit thedomlife.com where you can find pictures and other details about the Dom Life podcast. And through the Contact Us button, you can ask questions or provide recommendations for future episodes.
We want to explore your kink too.
Be sure to check out upcoming events to see where our adventures are taking us and our photo gallery to where we've been.
Thank you for joining us on this journey. We hope you had fun listening and learning with us.
Till next time, keep calm and remember your safe word.
Red, red, red.